walking around, you get a much better sense of belonging and knowing your way around and being familiar with local stores, making you feel like it's your town.
Community where people are nice to each other, like if it's a neighborhood where people are like talking and they're like willing to help each other, like if someone's doing something outside and like everything's falling out of their hands, someone that will help them.
I guess for me, a community is more attractive when you have like neighbors that are there that are you can like borrow a cup of sugar from.
And I value feeling a sense of belonging and that I know not just the college community here, but the rest of the city, and feeling a connection to the physical space as well as the people, and feeling like it's personal to me.
I think two values are really important. Is this a place that is embracing the future? Is it embracing a diverse population, immigrants, people of color, gay people? Those values are important. Is it a place that is in the lead, or is it resisting kind of embrace of attending to climate change, attending to social justice? You know, if a community is perceived to be a place that's trying to fight to protect the big old polluting jobs and or fighting against the changes in lifestyle and attitudes that people have, that's not an attractive place for people to be. They might go, young people go somewhere else. So those values are very important.
I think a community that really strives for development and sustainable practices is quite important.
I definitely like being in a place that has a lot of economic and racial diversity.
I think a good community is one with a broad mix of people, an area that has some sort of culture, some sort of, I guess, vibe between the citizens, and I guess a general sense of unity.
That most people look at Detroit at large. They just see Detroit as one big downtown, where if we were to go to New York, the distinctions between, let's say, Soho and the Upper East Side and Chelsea and the neighborhoods of Brooklyn, people live in those places at different stages of life, and they live there for different reasons and so on. And so what we look at is we started identifying the top 20 neighborhoods in Detroit where there actually is growth occurring. Because they're actually, Detroit landmass-wise is twice the size of San Francisco, has about 77 distinct neighborhoods. Most people just see it as one big thing. So the problem is when you say Detroit's a big ghetto, okay, well I can take you to 5 neighborhoods there that are absolutely not ghettos. They're absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, remarkable places that are revitalizing. You can take me to 20 places where there are homeless people, and I understand that, but I can take you to there in any major city. And I would make this comparison to New York. New York's reputation in the 70s and 80s was like, people would say, oh, you've been to New York, did you get mugged? You know, I mean, it was a very dangerous place in most people's mind. Nobody would go to Central Park. You know, you'll watch movies where it was horrible, scary. Soho turned. Soho was not downtown. Soho was different. It was a neighborhood that was not downtown. And all of a sudden they started saying that Soho's different. Then all of a sudden it became, well, the Upper East Side is clearly different. I think until Detroit finds a neighborhood, whether it's Corktown, Midtown, something that isn't downtown, so people stop seeing it at large.
With the routines of employment differing today from, you know, days of yore, oversimplified, a lot of big corporations and company employees who made their life with a company would go to Denver because they got a job with a company in Denver, or they'd go to Portland because the company transferred them to Portland. Today the employment world is much different, it's much more contingent, so people your age and people at all ages are saying, okay, I probably need to go to Chicago or Portland or Seattle or Boston because there is stuff going on there employment-wise in the arenas, whether it's in advertising or in writing or in marketing or in finance or in some technology-related field. There's stuff there that is where I probably can find something. And I think that is a important prerequisite for all of this other stuff that matters to people.
So one of the things that we've noticed is this idea of urban tribes. I don't know if you've heard of this book by Ethan Waters, but it was this idea that you go away to college and you live away from your family, so you start creating your own family. And these people become your support structure while you're in school. Well, after school, wherever your family decides to start moving, people often move to. So when you get out of school and you immediately aren't handed a job, you might have even applied to a bunch. You might have gone on Monster and sent your resume to 50 people, but nobody wanted you, right? So the issue is, these guys want me. You know, my tribe wants me to go to Brooklyn with them. I can sleep on somebody's sofa, I can live, who wouldn't want to do that? So what we end up finding is two things that seem to make a difference are internships. That if you can get an internship while you're in school, you start building your own professional network. You start knowing people so that when you get out of school, it's not a matter of if I can find a job, it's can I get a job where I've been interning, or can the people I've been interning for help me hook up with somebody. But at least I've got a network, I've got a new tribe of people trying to help me figure out what's going on next.
So I guess like what it would take for me to stay here would be a job offer in Ann Arbor.
Wherever my job takes me is where I'm at right now, but we'll see in the future.
I don't know if I'll stay in Michigan after graduation. I think the economy would have to do a little better for me to really want to stay, but maybe with a lot of future technology coming up in Detroit, there'd be more job opportunities.
It seems like, from what I've seen, the first question, the most important, is there's a diverse array of possible job opportunities, not precise ones. You know, like I'm going to be the marketing director at Microsoft, but I'm going to go to Seattle, and there are a lot of people like me, and they're doing a lot of stuff related to what I'm interested in, maybe and able to do, and that's how things begin to go.
The idea that there aren't any jobs in Michigan is crazy. There are jobs. The difference is there are like two Michigans. The new economy jobs, which you are all being well educated to take over, are absolutely there. The old economy jobs, not so much. I mean, actually, we did. Here's my real problem. The problem is if you look at what the requirements are for those jobs, they want at least 3 to 5 years experience, minimum. So somewhat the gap that happens is you get out of school and you don't have any experience to speak of yet, right? And so you go to apply for these jobs and they're not interested in the jobs that you are applying for because you might be smart, but they need somebody who can hit the ground running today because they don't have time to ramp up. So that's one thing that we constantly hear is that there aren't any jobs. Well, I know that there are at any given time at least 100 jobs here in Washtenaw County that anybody with a new economy degree can apply for and be part of and plug into. So I think there's a misconception that there aren't any jobs. There are jobs. Unfortunately, they may not be perfect entry-level jobs is one gap. There's a group called the Knowledge Industry Partnership out of Philadelphia that did a research project, a 5-year project that said 50% of students that do internships stay in the state in which they intern. And 50% of those students stay at the organization or company they intern with. So again, it's not just my opinion that internships are a way to create that tension and strengthen that tension and make people choose a place. Their data is sharing this is what they've been seeing over a long time. The other thing is entrepreneurship. That 82, according to the Kauffman Foundation, that you've probably heard their name on NPR, you know, the Kauffman Foundation did a research program that said 82% of entrepreneurs start their first company either in their hometown or in their college town. And the reason is, of course, you start it in your college town, you actually know people, you can get people to buy something from you, you can find all the talent you need. That again creates your own little local tribe and starts creating some tension.
Communities that have young people, students, but also young people in the first stage of their lives, one, they just have more going on. You see people, young people on the streets. It provides that sense of life and vitality. You go to communities where there are no young people; they've all gone. They're dead. They're dying. Young people, along with immigrants who are new to this country, in the early stages of their careers, are the most entrepreneurial. They're the ones starting a new business or opening an arts boutique or taking a chance to try their passions.
Going away is a rite of passage. I mean, you get out of school and you kind of want to leave the place you've been for the last, whatever, 4, 5, 6 years, however long you've been there. I mean, even if you look at how we got our governor, Dan Mulhern went to Harvard, met Governor Granholm, brought her back here. You know, people leaving doesn't necessarily need to be a bad thing. It may be a great way to bring back some of the top talent on the planet. The challenge really is that we don't have a lot of people who are choosing here. You know, like Chicago, many people get out of school in Chicago and they leave Chicago. The difference is you've got all of Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan wanting to go to Chicago after school for something else.
What do you value about living in the state of Michigan?
I think I value most being able to go to U of M.
I feel like Michigan is a beautiful state because we have the Great Lakes.
I don't mind the fact that it's cloudy 9 times out of 10.